So most people are then buying without inspection. Would you say that? Or selling? Or both?
Well, most people ultimately come to the conclusion that they're not getting the inspection. A lot of buyers will write offers with inspections and lose. They'll write another maybe higher one with an inspection and lose. And then what people are doing, sometimes you can get like a mini inspection done. So it's like, call it a second showing, have your uncle come through who happens to also be a home inspector and do a quick look through the house.
Right.
I can give you that peace of mind sometimes. So you could do that, especially, your dad.
Sure.
Sure. A second showing where your dad comes through, sure. But the idea of a home inspection in a contract, it's not the inspection itself. It's the idea to the seller, like you just experienced,
right,
that there's an out.
Right.
So my suggestion is have your dad come to the second showing.
Right.
If we go through a house, and you don't want to have your dad come every showing, I'm sure, but if you do, that's cool. But if he comes to the second showing, the one you really want.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would probably do.
Yeah. If you get a home inspection, it'd be good. When the market shifts, which it very well may, you might be able to get home inspections again eventually, but
not right now.
Not today.
No. So what do I need? Besides a pre-approval, I want my pre-approval, what else do I want to have in order to say I'm ready to buy a house?
Well, we talked about the money, before we went on camera. You want to make sure you have your closing costs.
Which would be what?
Well, good question. So the biggest closing cost is actually your first full year of taxes. So in New York, you pay your first full year of taxes, true taxes too, before your star exemption. Star exemption is what you have for your primary residence. It's a little discount on your taxes. So you have to pay the true taxes, the bigger number, all at closing. And then on top of that, you have to pay for your attorney. You got to pay for, some other closing costs, which are like redating your deed and tax, just closing costs, a bunch of lawyer stuff. In New York, realtors don't really do anything at the closing table. Most of the times, we're not even there.
Okay.
The closing is done by the attorney, and all of that stuff is pretty foreign to us. Our area of expertise is finding you the right home, making sure you pay the right amount for it. Make sure you don't pay too much for it too. In a market like this, we leave our experts to their expertise. Like our banker, when it comes down to the payments and stuff like that, I always defer to my expert. And in that case, the closing costs, I think we should probably do a video with our lawyer and really get down and dirty on closing costs, because that is a question we get a lot.
Well, sure. It's you have to know to be prepared in order to meet that requirement, right?
Sure. If you're buying a $200,000 home, you can pretty much count on bringing about 20 grand to the table. Because on a $200,000 home in New York, your first year taxes are going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 200, so it's about 50 per thousand, so it's about 10,000 a year. So there's 10 grand right there. And then you've got to bring let's say you're doing an FHA mortgage, which is also hard to get approved now. Conventional mortgages are a lot easier, but let's say you're doing FHA, so that's 3.5% down, 200 grand. So 3.5% of 200 is 7,000. So now you're at 17,000. Then you got to pay your lawyer. Your lawyer's roughly $600. And then you got a few miscellaneous nonsense charges that I just don't know what they are at this point, but
they're there.
I did once, I just forgot. And so you're at about 20 grand.
Okay.
Ish.
That's on a $200,000 house.
So you got multiple offers now, different types of mortgages, conventional versus FHA.
Right.
Basically, conventional is easiest on the seller. FHA could potentially cause more headaches for the seller.